Yeah, I just,
From the,
every once in a
so,
while, I just,
yeah,
if I
yeah.
thought something was, I'd send it back to you, but otherwise I
We were called upon to begin the PCO process, and we're going to start with 86R2.
Yes, sir. Well, my computer's warming up because I had to shut it off because of how long the last meeting was. My computer has died every other time we try to do this. And there's no plug-in around close to my computer. So it's not gonna ever hit. Yeah, but I don't want to sit in that seat because I can't reach this cord. They plug it into that TV. Oh, okay. My computer's still spinning, so as we get to this, I just ran downstairs to talk to Matthew because he made it move. So, in 2 weeks, a joint closed session, like I had on Thursdays at 3:15 if he wants to do that. And that'll allow us to change our meetings, do our closed session first. Then we won't have this crazy thing that, depending on how long our agenda is. So just so you guys can talk about that in public.
Okay. Thank you.
That's what I was trying to get.
Gotcha.
Accomplished. And as you can see, the application management policy is printed on my computer. Dan, do you have a physical copy of 86 or 2?
Should be in the back after.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to bring up on the screen, but until my computer wakes back up. It is in the back.
Well, unless Mr. Hoffman objects. Okay. Okay. We can just, you want to just talk through it on the screen, that's fine.
So 86 R2 is, I think it's $28,000.
28,916.
Yep. So Kevin Ross, Goldberg Group Architects. PCO 86R2 was for revisions to the electrical wiring for the cooler and freezer for the kitchen. We relocated the existing ones downstairs and put the new ones upstairs so we can get all that swapped over, make the transition easier. We also added power for vacuum sealer and property storage. And we revised the power location in one of the evidence storage closets down there so the blood drying machine can be fit in the room that we're one with a bigger than we originally anticipated. So.
They went with the largest blood drying machine just for ease and stuff, and it needed to move from the room that it was in.
Yeah, so my understanding, I talked with Shane yesterday, is that this change order is kind of more on things that we have requested that we wanted in there that it wasn't designed for.
Yes, for the most part. The vacuum sealer was indicated up front, but our electrical missed one of the outlets for it. There's two pieces of equipment there. One requires 280, the other is 120. They'd missed the 120 piece of that, so there's an additional outlet in property storage for that. But all of the pieces, yes, were additional requests by the sheriff's office.
I would move approval.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes 3-0. We move on to PCO 109R3, and again, I call on Gene Older.
And I'm going to kick it to Kevin.
So PCO 109R3 was for revisions to the ceilings in the main secure corridors in the housing area. As part of the fire damper installation, there were some areas that they were having trouble accessing. We come up with a solution to revise some of the ceilings to be fire-rated ceilings and eliminate several of the cut openings for the fire dampers. And I think the credit was somewhere around $1,700. It was a fairly, yeah, I know it's in you guys' back up there, but it was a less than $2,000 credit.
Yeah, I think 17's real close.
Yeah, which I think started off as a $30-some thousand ad until we evaluated it.
Well, I know the credit was $1,578.
Thank you.
Very close.
Yep.
Right.
I would move approval.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Now PCO 121, and we're going to call on Kevin.
Yep.
So PCO 121, we had to relocate door 116, which is the staff entrance down lower level on there, and that required some additional metal trim around the outside to cover the gap between the block and the cast-in-place concrete wall. So I think that one was roughly $1,600 additional cost for the flashing and installation of that.
Any questions?
I'm just trying to find that one there. So much backup.
Yeah, there's a lot of backup on this one.
Mark it with my post-it notes.
This is 121. Yes, it's $2,099.
Thank you.
Great.
I will move that.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Passes 3-0. We'll move on to PCO 122R, and I'll call on Kevin for that, please.
I'll actually toss this one over to Shane.
Ah, okay.
The signage one.
Yeah, I know which one it is. So, when we went through an approval process, when the signs all came out, Sheriff's Office wanted the signs changed. So instead of being HD 1 through 5, they wanted them to be temp holding, this, other holding cells, just to make it easier for them. So the Sheriff's Office approved this change because they wanted it to be that way. And they said they would reimburse the authority for the expense of this. So this is just what that cost was.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
They didn't get to see the signs that went up, huh?
But
The wrong signs that went up, they didn't get to see those?
they got to see them, so this is what the signs all changed to. So instead of what,
Oh, so they weren't up, good.
they weren't up yet.
And these are just vinyl signage, so they were easily cut. I think they had them there the next day, you know,
Gotcha.
to install them, so.
So this was a change in the field quickly, before they put up the wrong signs, to get it fixed.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Thank you. All right, we move on to item number 10, discussion and approval of PCCO 023, and we'll call on Shane for that.
Yes. Sorry, Trent. So PCCO 023 just approves all the change orders that you just did. So it does 86 R2 for $28,916. It does 109 R3 for $15,078. It does PCO 121 for $2,099. It does 122R for $849 for a grand sum total of $30,286.
Any discussion? Second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 11. Shane, you want to give us a quick overview since we did some of it in closed session, just for public knowledge?
Yes. So I'd like to start off, if it's okay, to read the press release and ask for that to be brought into the record.
Move to receive.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Thank you.
Okay. Could you give that to Matthew? Yep. All right. He's gone. So, this is our press release for immediate release. The authority continues to focus on working with Hausman and Goldberg Group Architects on the completion of the project. CCD 10R, which relates to certain work that will be performed on mechanical systems, was issued on February 7th. CCD 10R encompasses KSI, RFI 557, and PR 42R. It also has a January 5th, 2024 letter from Michael Shea, Principal of Latrobe. The cost and time impact of CCD 10R is still being determined. The jail inspector was on site Thursday, February 1st, and conducted his preliminary walk. His final walk was scheduled for 3 to 4 days the week of March 11th. February 12th, 13th, and 14th, punch lists will be completed in master control, security corridors, and stairwell 1. Something to add because of the nice weather yesterday. DGA was also able to walk around the outside of the building and do an exterior punch list too. And Ron. And Ron. And Kenny and Todd and a lot of people, sorry. Furniture is being delivered and installed in all areas of the building. And the authority, GGA, and Hausman continue to discuss Hausman's previously requested additional time and expense for this ample work, with which the authority and GGA have expressed disagreement. The authority and its council continue to assess the additional costs and damages of the project caused by actions, inactions, or delays by Hausman, GGA, and GGA's mechanical engineer, sub-consultant, and Trova, and are taking the proper steps to ultimately hold the responsible parties liable for such additional costs and damages to be incurred by the authority. So right now, we've got people out to the site. Kenny's working right now with Thompson Electric, which is the fire installer, so that they can get one data connection and switch in the basement for the Thursday inspection. They're also been conducting backwalks with Mr. Wick and stuff, so Kenny and Todd backwalked, and backwalk just is reviewing the punch list corrections. They did the county attorney's space, the courts, the sheriff's office, a lot of the spaces, finding just some minor corrections. A lot of those were able to be fixed right then and there where they were going. Kevin, Ron, Carol, and team have been working on getting different areas set up and done, like master control, the secure corridors, stair one, the exterior of the building. Right now, Kevin and I have to go back out to the site to make a overall determination if we're going to walk. There's 6 pods on the second floor of the jail. The housing fields are ready, and we've already determined that the vehicle sally port was not quite ready for our inspection.
That's first.
Carol and I work punch list this morning.
That's all I have for an update if you have any questions.
All right, very good, thank you. Public concerns? Hearing none, we'll move on to
I'm sorry.
That's the whole reason I came back here.
okay.
Matt Hoffman, 2929 Signal Hill Drive. Here today representing myself and Diana Castillo, our news director. She's back, about to put the news on at 5 o'clock, so you're stuck with me. But we are wondering where our records request is at. I believe the deadline is this Thursday, if I have my dates correct. I would just want to express that I've had a lot of FOIA fights in my career, and this is one of the saddest, I think, that I've had, especially because I know all 3 of you gentlemen, and I know that you all believe in transparency, and I've talked to you, interviewed each one of you individually, so I think it's saddening, especially to the public, for how long this has taken, and I just want to, I'll say we want to know when the request, if it will be fulfilled on time.
I can take it?
I would like you to do that.
Okay, so, yeah, right now, our intention is that we will have all the response documents ready on Thursday. That's our intention, that's our goal, we're still on track. The documents, we're talking about thousands and thousands of documents. I would say that from the authorities' perspective, we've never characterized it as a fight. I don't see it as a fight. It was the scope is really thousands and thousands of emails, documents, all of our project, all of that has to go through security review because of photos, drawings, specs, so it's layers and layers, thousands of documents, layers and layers of review by the authority, Baker Group, Sheriff Sheehan, myself, and so that does take time. We believe the documents will be ready Thursday. My plan is to send your counsel an email to let them know, to let her know that it's ready. But then I'll let you know by that time exactly how many documents we're talking about, but we already know that the document count is substantially higher than that count in our estimate, meaning our actual costs are going to be substantially higher. And so at that point, as I will tell your counsel, we're going to generate as quick as we can, within a week, we'll generate the invoice for actual costs. And then we'll send that to you. And then assuming the authority has the right to require advance payment of the differential between the estimate we already got and the actual cost, that is what the authority plans to request prepayment of that differential amount. And as soon as that's paid, we have that jump drive. So the production's so large, we can't just send it to you in a share file link, so we have an actual jump drive that we will send to you as soon as we get that prepayment of the actual cost. So you should get an email. You will get an email on Thursday either way, but we are on track to have the documents ready on Thursday. So you'll get an email, then we'll get you an invoice after that. We'll require prepayment, assuming we have the right to do that, and then you will have all those documents.
Could I follow up to that, if that's okay? We would, I keep saying I, but I'm the only one standing here. We would encourage the authority to go back to its estimate. The authority has been the one who's decided to extend the deadline. So we would encourage you, the authority members, to have council or whoever is in charge of that, I guess I don't know the right way to say it, provide it for the cost we paid. And I guess I ask that of you gentlemen as a, I don't know the right way to say it, but man to man, I think we have provided this money in December. It's February. I think this has been delayed, obviously for reasons outside of anyone's control, but the first timeline was set by the authority, the second timeline was set by the authority. So I would encourage you, what I think we're going to end up saying to you, if you insist on further payment, we'll say give us what's $3,000 worth, and then go from there. But I think that would still leave records responsive, and I think that's sad, honestly.
What was the initial estimate of, as far as number of documents? Do you remember, was it?
I don't. We had a larger estimate. The request got narrowed, which meant the estimate was less. And I have always been clear that from the beginning it was an estimate we gave, and that all the letters from us were clear that this is an estimate per the law. The authority is certainly permitted to charge for actual costs, so that's what we'll do invoicing wise. Now, if the authority or the county, if we get a request back from KTIV, anything other than yes, we'll submit the check, and they have a request, I don't know what that request would be, but you all can consider that. But I think our prior conversations were that the best practice is to follow the law and require any FOIA requester to pay the actual cost, which is what the law says.
One thing I would like to interject here is I understand what you're saying, Mr. Hoffman, about the $3,000. We have experienced the workload to accomplish what you ask us to do. And as far as I am concerned, as one member of the authority, in order to release anything to you, we're going to need full payment. That's my personal opinion. We've done the workload. We've done what you ask us to do, and now you're saying, gee, we don't want to pay you for that. We only want to pay you for what we've already paid you for, and that don't work.
I'm not asking you to do extra work for what.
It's pretty much done.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, Ron. What I'm saying is, if the authority will insist we pay more, we want $3,000 worth of whatever is.
I don't think that's possible. So I corresponded with your council multiple times, like to reconfirm. Okay, you're saying you want all of this, yes. So I did reconfirm, because I did express this is a very large amount you're asking for, and so we did get that confirmation multiple times, and then we have done that work to respond to that FOIA request. So from my perspective, we responded to the request. The Iowa Code allows us to charge for actual costs, and there's not an option for you to pay for $3,000 worth of documents, because we've responded to your FOIA request. But if that's your response, we'll take a look at it. But I don't know of any basis as to anything other than Iowa law requires actual costs incurred to responding to your broad FOIA request.
I put up on the board just for everybody's knowledge. This is all these folders that are on here are the documents from May 31st to January 2nd. That's just the folders. And each one of those folders, like rigging reports, there's literally every day from that time to that time. Every day has pictures of the job, which I cannot share you cannot share that for security purposes. So those all have to be reviewed and redacted. So there's a whole bunch of time it takes to take all these documents. So if you look at ASIs, this is all the ASIs, every one of those had to be reviewed. I don't need to go into it.
Yeah, Shane, do you have an estimate? I think Matt asked for an estimate, which I couldn't give you. Probably, do you have just a rough estimate of how many documents it is? How many thousands?
No, but my emails alone, there was an error when they looked at the emails, and it was going to be 861.
Yeah.
when they actually did my emails because they were missing one keyword, I ended up with 4,375 just in my inbox. But I had to
So
go
more
back
than
for
4 times, and that's the work I'm talking about, that we've already
Yeah.
done.
That's the first I'm hearing of this, so.
Yeah, so if I could interject, what I would say, Matt, is wait and see what the invoice is, because, you could look at getting 3 or 4 extra documents that you thought you were gonna get
Yeah.
for not much money more. I
Yeah.
don't think we're looking at 3 or 4 extra costs, but it is gonna be a little bit more. Now, what's tough here in this situation is that Shane's a private company. We can't force Shane to work for free and provide stuff for you guys. And whereas if it was WCICC, they could round this stuff up, we give it to you, it's all more kosher. And that's why the law has this protocol, because they are a private entity, they're paying Shane to do this, and so he has to be a maker, has to be reimbursed for the work. And so I get both sides of it, but it's not like your typical governmental FOIA request, because it is out of house. It's not WCICC, it's not my government email, it's a lot of that is over there.
The
and that's
reality
what
of it is you've caused us this expense, we're gonna have to pay it.
But I think the massive amount of things you're gonna get is gonna be worth the time, so would just ask you to just hold tight until we get an invoice, and what'd you say, a week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
I would have a week, I would have it to you by the 22nd, based on our time, all
yeah.
codes in.
So not by the 15th.
No, we'll have the documents ready by the 15th. But
Okay.
then assuming we confirm we have the right to
Yeah.
request advance payment,
Yeah.
then we will get that invoice to you as soon as we
Got
can,
it.
no later than a week. And then as soon as we get that advance payment, then you will have the documents. So the documents will be ready by the 15th.
Okay.
So I guess if we would have had exactly what our estimate was, then yeah, it would have been ready, they could have had it tomorrow, but because we're looking at 3 to 4x the stuff.
Well, I think it's just a matter of, because we know that the documents, the number is so much more, we know the actual cost will be more than the estimate. And so, to be sure that we are getting paid for our actual costs, which we know are gonna be more than the estimate, we need just that turnaround time to get the invoice from Baker and then submit it to.
Following Iowa law.
Good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, item number 13, authority board members' concerns.
I have one. Are we talking about changing the date of our meeting?
I believe that's what he said. I was going to ask that when he got to me.
May I suggest that we do our closed meeting first, keep it on Tuesdays? Because I'm gonna have to change a lot of things around to do
I
Thursdays.
expect that.
And if we start at 2 o'clock with closed sessions, that moves to 4:30. And I don't know if anybody wants to spend more than 2 hours in a closed session. I don't know.
Yeah, I think what's tough is that I think there's 2 supervisors that for sure can't be here.
So the problem is, Jeremy and Keith need 3:15 before they can come out of work. So that was the issue, is they can't start.
If we're gonna make some changes here, can we make it simple and change the board of supervisors meeting to like 5 or 5:30? That would solve the problem.
Well, under normal circumstances, yes, but we're doing budget reviews. That we have to do now, so that's like tonight we've got, so like, normally, we would have started our budget review at 3:30. Like, we had a couple weeks ago, we went till 8 o'clock, and we started at 3:30. So we moved the budget review to after the supervisors meeting tonight to facilitate it. So it's the budget review that's,
That makes for a long day.
yeah.
Jody, do you have Thursdays available?
And I don't want to say that because Jeremy and Keith are less
I'd like to say something. If we're talking about long days, mine started about 6:30 this morning, and we're still going. Now, who are we gonna protect here?
5:15.
Yeah.
So I put
Well, the problem with the budget
it's on
review
my
is you get kind
calendar
of
for
staff.
every Tuesday, so
Understand,
I'm wide free,
understand.
but like, so if we move them to Thursday, if I could move things, I would. If we're talking about next Thursday, like the 29th, yeah, I'm free if we moved it. I don't know about other, is this
We
a
have an
one?
authority member here that is gonna have a problem problem if we
Yeah,
move it
so
to
it
Tuesday.
sounds like that's-
That's gotta be key.
Yeah.
It should be key. I was just telling you what Matthew said, I'm gonna follow up on that.
Understand.
I don't control when I'll move meetings to, I was just,
Yep.
I'll see what I can do with my schedule, but I kind of planned it out because you gave that, every Tuesdays you gave us. Let me look at my schedule. If your schedule's open on Thursday, yours is open on Thursday.
This is a one-time move or permanent?
What?
This is just moving
I think
2
we're
weeks.
talking permanent.
Well, I think we only have 2 more budget hearings left, so it
Okay.
could be, I think, temporary, but
Oh, okay.
His big, Matthew's big thing that I saw in Matthew's voice and what he said was, he didn't feel we had enough time in closed session to get all this stuff done when it's joint closed session. So he would like that joint closed session to be longer. So that's why he wanted to move it to Thursdays.
Well, let's ask him what he estimates the closed session to be, because that'll help me. If he thinks we should be spending 3 hours in a closed session, just have him tell us that.
Okay.
So seriously, he must have a time slot.
Mark, can I ask you to find that out?
yeah, I can assess it.
Yeah, just see what he wants to look for.
But it's tough because you're paying security for, they're here till 4:30, so then we're paying them till 8, 9 o'clock if we're here, and then you have staff here, so that's a step, but then when you have supervisors that can't come during the day, then that makes it tough too, so I mean, I can make whatever work.
Well, I just want to clarify because I'll check, and if I can't
Yeah.
change something,
I'll
just
ask
let Ron
them.
know. Yeah.
We'll try to, yeah.
Yeah, I just want the people downstairs to understand that there's another side to the story too.
No, I know, and maybe we need to do an LEC meeting on a different day, whenever, then do a joint closed session just on Tuesdays and go from there, then we can do our own thing, I don't know.
I think
Because then we
it's,
can do morning, we can do afternoon, we can do evening, do whatever.
I think it's rare that, we had a ton of time today and we used it all. I think the FOIA stuff, that's one time, that we
For sure.
were talking about it, and then the next verse just took way longer. I do think this is maybe an anomaly. But because today we had an hour and a half, what did we have? We had an hour,
15 minutes.
yeah, an hour.
And we ran over by 10, so.
How early can we start the supervisor meeting earlier than 2 p.m.? And, oh, no,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
because-
I meant the LEC meeting, but the supervisor, Jeremy and,
No, because they
Jeremy
can
and
get.
Vic there,
Correct.
here's all three, okay, so that
We
doesn't.
can't start before 2 o'clock since it's already been.
Yeah, you guys got your
That's-
stuff, that's, yeah.
Owners meeting too,
Yeah.
at 11:30.
Well, maybe I just-
Karen needs to know so she can publish when the authority agenda. She's the one, because we have to tell her.
Here's what really matters.
Well, there was a request from Karen's office, that we do a better job of telling her when all these meetings were. And I did get an nasty grand email when Karen was on vacation about it, so, yes.
I know you wouldn't do that. No, I know you wouldn't do that.
I should somewhere, but
You were on vacation, so
I'll
I
ask
was.
that tonight, and I'll go back to Mary. So maybe, let's see, we try to have Shane, so there's just so many pieces, because when we
have to.
you're here.
We have to.
Oh, yeah, it has to be, so.
Just make sure our closed session agenda items are under 21.51C. I don't want to expand to something that is going to be a problem.
What we need is Shane for auctioneer school, and then he could rifle through all these agenda items, we'd be done in 5 minutes.
We could try that. I used to, but on a serious answer, so we don't end up in these type of things too. I think we should do the authority closed session first. We can do it for 15 minutes, from 2 to 2:15, and then 2:15 till we're done.
Sure.
On Tuesdays, we can then do your agenda, because this crazy stuff about doing an authority meeting, but then have to watch the time, then jump to a closed session, and then jump to
Yeah.
another closed session, and go back to our meeting, isn't fair for the public that's here.
No, I agree, and I thought about that too, so.
I mean, it's not good for GGA to have to go and wait, for us to get done with 2 meetings to come back and help with PCOs.
I mean, Kevin, let's hang out.
That's right. But it's also not fair for the public that wants to comment.
No, I
All right, so, have we, any other discussion on that?
Not on that one.
Do you have anything else?
The second concern, Jody, could you make sure that the stations, whoever the legal counsels you're dealing with, make sure that they're informing their reporters. Because what I wanted to ask, what I think would be appropriate is, have you consulted with your attorney before you came in here to make this request?
Yeah,
Because you have given warning after warning
Yeah.
after warning after warning.
yeah,
And then just play on our, you want to say, well, yeah, well, it's $3,000.
Yeah.
But I want to know if he's talked to his attorneys, because,
yeah.
but I can't give him, I'm not giving him that advice.
Yeah, I don't think they always are communicating. We've had miscommunications where I'm getting different, their attorney said something, and then a second later I heard that, nope, they're not gonna release this, or, I mean, so I don't think there's communication.
For whatever it's worth.
But the thing that I think we need to stand together on is that we've done the work, we've spent the time,
Oh,
we've
yes.
spent the money.
Oh,
We need to make sure we stand our ground on the
I'll give you one good thing for the estimate. Because it was so many documents and I had no time last week, I actually had to list 4 people in the office to work on it. Right. But they weren't me, so they only cost $75 an hour.
Sure.
Versus the 125. But my email review is gonna kill it because it's a huge number.
And the redaction,
The
for
redaction.
security reasons, having to redact all the jail photos, anything related, yeah,
We're talking big money here.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Drawing specs, photos of
And
of
the
the
problem
jail
with,
areas.
the problems with emails, set redacted, a whole bunch of emails, but when you redact an email, it doesn't save the redactions into a forward slide, it just remove all attachments, because if it had one thing, the email turned to black, it doesn't save an email, you can get it right back. So thankfully, I opened up one of the emails that I just spent the time to redact, and found out the pictures were still there. So I had to just delete them. And you gotta document all that.
Yeah. So we'll do, as we discussed, we'll, yeah. We'll do as we discussed.
I think we need to get a rough number for them on how many documents, what the emails are, I mean.
Yeah, so by Thursday, we will have, or by tomorrow, well, I mean, because once we get it back from Sheriff Sheehan, I'm looking at it tomorrow, and by
Sure.
tomorrow, I will have the number. So then
Sure.
for sure by Thursday, I will say, this is the number, this is everything we have. We're getting an invoice, but it's gonna be more. So yeah, I'll have the exact figures.
Good.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Anything else, sir? Item number 16 on the agenda is adjourned. Could I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Adios.